being around the program today, I've been asking everyone about you. I'm saying, what's Michael Penix Jr. like? What's he like? What's he like? And the one word everyone keeps saying is authentic.
Growing up, I always had parents that helped me understand that, it's not always about me. Yeah. Things are bigger than me. So I do it for a bigger purpose. And, I know it's just not about me. And I just want to go out there and, help everybody else look good around me.
One of my favorite parts of your story is that it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies in your career. You had the ups and downs. You went through the adversity. And that's why people like rooting for you so much, I think, and what makes your success so special.
Coming to college, never getting hurt, like not even a sprained ankle. It was tough, coming there and having that torn ACL my first year. And I had a shoulder injury the second year, another torn ACL the third year, and another shoulder injury the fourth year. It was tough. It was a lot of battling back and forth in my head. It was a lot of negative thoughts coming in my head. I was trying to push those out, as much as I could. But I feel like the main thing that kept me focused and locked in is just the people around me and my family. Always supporting me, being there with me through all those hard times, and just allowing me to understand that I'm playing for something bigger than myself. And so in those times, I did have those thoughts. About, if this happens again, I might be done, but at the end of the day, I knew I couldn't be that quitter. Life isn't going to be easy, it's going to be ups and downs, and, you just got to continue to persevere and continue to keep fighting.
When you leave here and people talk about Michael Penix Jr., what do you want them to say? Guys, we have a new sponsor for the Next Up podcast, Caldera Lab, and I am fired up. Because of Caldera Lab, I'm able to put my best face forward. How do I do that? By adding a skincare routine from Caldera Lab into my day every single day. Now, I know what you're saying. There's no way this guy sticks to a skincare routine, but joke's on you, because there's no way this face stays this clean and looks this good without it. And honestly, it's not that hard. I just needed the tools, and now I have them from Caldera Lab. Here's some insight on my personal routine. Number 1, the Clean Slate. It's a face wash that starts and ends every single day for me. Number 2, the base layer, a moisturizer that hydrates my skin. And number 3, the Good, a bedtime night serum that has my skin feeling tighter and smoother than ever before. The skincare world is not just for females anymore, it's for men too, and it's doing wonders for me. So what are y'all waiting for? Go to calderalab.com/AdamB for 20% off their best products. That's a huge discount at calderalab.com/AdamB. And guys, supporting our sponsors like Caldera Lab supports me and allows me to do this podcast every single week for all of you. So please support Caldera Lab at calderalab.com/AdamB for 20% off. Before we get to the pod, I want to tell you all about our newest sponsor, Athletic Greens. And let me tell you, when I found out about this sponsor, I was fired up because I've been using Athletic Greens for years, and I want to promote to you guys the things I actually use. I love Athletic Greens. As a former Division I athlete, I've tried countless supplements, and recently my nutrition and my health has become a bigger deal for me as I get farther away from my playing career. And let me tell you, Athletic Greens is the real deal. Has me feeling healthy and energized every single day. With as much as I'm on the road, traveling, shooting podcasts, it's hard to have a healthy diet, hard to have healthy nutrition, hard for me to get my vitamins and minerals every single day. My doctor even told me that last time I saw him. But with Athletic Greens, I get 75 plus vitamins, minerals, and a bunch of other healthy things. I don't even know what they are, but I know they're good for you. And when I wake up every single day now, I feel energized, my digestion has never been better, and I'm ready to attack each and every day because of Athletic Greens and AG1. So if you want to take ownership of your health like I am right now, try AG1 today at drinkag1.com/nextup, and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs when you go to my link, tryag1.com/nextup. And guys, all of you who support this podcast, you guys supporting our sponsors helps me a ton. So please go support AG1 and support Next Up through the process and optimize your health and nutrition today. drinkag1.com/nextup. Check it out. What's up, guys? Welcome into the Next Up podcast. I'm Adam Breneman. We're on the field at the University of Washington today. I mean, look at this scenery. The best setting in college football. It's got to be one of them. The water behind us. This place is rocking. The intensity in this program, you can feel the second you walk in here. Going to do a lot of content for you guys today, but this one right here is a special podcast interview with one of the biggest Heisman contenders in college football, Michael Penix Jr. He's an elite player, elite arm talent, and a great human being. Going to talk to him about all things life on and off the field, his contention for the Heisman this year, and what it's like playing for one of the best head coaches in college football, and Kalen DeBoer. Let's go talk to Mike Penix Jr. Next up. Back at it again in Seattle, Washington. My first time here. Place is beautiful, amazing weather. Just heard it's going to be the hottest day of the year today in Seattle. Flew in last night from Philadelphia to Seattle, 6-hour flight. Did not get much sleep, but I'm feeling pretty good. Got my coffee in me. Going to see the Washington football program. Really a sleeping giant in college football. What they've built, top 10 program in the country. Michael Penix Jr. is a sleeper Heisman candidate. Not even a sleeper anymore. He is a Heisman candidate. Kalen DeBoer and what he's built as the head coach. They invited us out. Going to kind of roll out, as they call it, the purple carpet today for us and my team. Going to show you guys a ton of access. Let's go to UW. I'll tell you what. I'm excited because of all the we've been to a lot of places. Penn State, which I love, Duke, Arizona. I mean, we've been everywhere across the country. FAU, Pitt. I mean, we've been everywhere doing head coaches, having them on the podcast. Of everywhere I've been, the most hospitality and the most excitement the coaches have had for us coming is Washington, without a doubt. Coach DeBoer has been texting me. A bunch of the coaches hit me up, tweeting about it on social media, and that coincides with how they're building their program, the excitement they have for content, the excitement they have to bring outside people from the East Coast that never have seen this program before into their home, to their program, to their practice. It's hard to get access to training camp, and we got it. So I'm excited just because they're so excited to have us there, and this is what my goal has been for this podcast, for this content, to get invited to these places and coaches start asking us to come. It's now starting to happen. And it's because of all you guys who follow, support, subscribe to the channel, watch the content. So love all of you. UW's going to be sick. Well, is there a better scene?
Yeah, real good.
It's a big year for you, bro. I'm excited. To see it.
Appreciate it. Good to see you. I'll see you later.
See you, Mike. Appreciate having me out.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. How you been? You good? What's that? Oh, stop it. Stop it. Good to see you, brother. We're at UW practice right now. Team drill behind us. A few observations. Number one, this place is freaking beautiful. I mean, look around. Ethan, show them around here. I mean, you got the water in the background over here. Beautiful stadium. This place will rival a ton of places in the Big Ten as soon as they join next season. Player-wise, Michael Penix Jr., I keep calling him a sleeper Heisman candidate. He is no longer a sleeper. He is a Heisman candidate. This team is for real. The offense is for real. The lefty is an elite quarterback. Saul makes some great throws today. The defense looks really good. Flying around, get after the quarterback. It looks sound on the front seven. I mean, I love what I'm seeing from the UW defense as they get a long touchdown pass called on them right there behind us. But competitive environment. I love what Coach DeBoer is building here. This place is intense, it's electric, and it is a beautiful setting, one of the best in college football. Real quick, we're in the middle of practice right now. I want to say thank you to UW for having me and my team out. Everyone from Coach DeBoer, the head coach, to Casey Byers, who's in charge of all their creative, to Hadley in charge of the social media. The hospitality has been awesome. The access, what I'm able to see, what I'm able to do, the interviews, unbelievable. I love this place. I am now a UW fan and cannot wait to see him in the Big Ten. Good.
Thank you. It always is.
You played it?
Who?
Mercury?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
It's dope. that's Bellevue.
Right there.
That's Bellevue, and then you got Kirkland over here. So Kirkland's where the home of Costco is.
Oh god.
So you get Costco.
Yeah.
So the Kirkland brand.
Oh,
That's the generic.
You been doing a lot of podcasts lately? A lot of interviews?
Nah, not really.
None?
Nah.
This your first one? Your first pod?
It's not my first one, but it's probably like my second one or third one.
You do them in person or over Zoom probably, right?
I did one of each. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, I'm excited to talk to you. I appreciate you you doing this. I've wanted to make this trip out. I've been on your hype train for a while. I was on it day one when you got here, man, to UW. So, first of all, how's camp going? How you feeling? We're in the part of camp that's just a blur at this point, right? You don't practice like 10 or something, right?
Yeah, man. It's hard to remember what day it is, sometimes, but it's been going good. It's a lot of positives. A lot of things that we see that we got to work on, and we still got time to work on those things so that we can be ready come game day. So we will be.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you because there's been so much talk about you in the national media lately, and I just want to get to know you and understand you as a person. Everyone talks about you and your game and all that stuff, but I want to get to know you. And you have such a cool background from Florida. Ended up at UW through a bunch of different ups and downs of your career, and it's a really cool story. I want to start with this though. Going into this season, I feel like there is so much expectation, so much excitement. Your name is, it's funny, I did a video today and I called you a Heisman sleeper. And I had to realize you're no longer a sleeper. You're just a Heisman candidate, right? Everyone's talking about you in that way. How are you balancing it all? It's so different than maybe what it was like going into last season. How are you balancing it? How does it feel? And does it kind of adjust your approach at all?
No, I'll just say just always keeping the main thing. And, with me, I'm just so laser focused and just locked in on, winning football games and helping this team win football games. And, that's my filter, So each and every day I come out here and, I hear those things, I see it on social media sometimes. But, I know at the end of the day I got to win football games help our team win football games for that to even happen, So I always put my team first, because without my offensive linemen, those guys making plays on the outside and running backs as well, it wouldn't be me. So.
No doubt. But was there a moment maybe after this last season, this offseason, that you were like, where you felt like the attention or the national discussion about you and this program kind of reached a new level where you were like, it's on the map now?
Yeah, I feel like it did, in my eyes, I always understood what I can do on the football field, and I knew what I bring to the table. And, it's just a matter of time, just being healthy, having a full offseason. I feel like that was a big part of me having a good year last year, staying healthy, having a full offseason. That was big. And, having the guys around me, helping make big-time plays, to help, me look good in those ways, So I'm just blessed to be here, and, I'm blessed to have great teammates around me and great coaches as well.
Yeah, I'm just glad people on the East Coast are talking about you now, man. Finally, right? Being around the program today, I've been asking everyone about you. I'm saying, what's Michael Penix Jr. like? What's he like? What's he like? And the one word everyone keeps saying is authentic. Mm-hmm. That's what multiple people have described you as, including your head coach. What does that mean? And where does that come from when people say that you're authentic?
Yeah, I just say just being myself. That's the thing. I really don't try to be anybody else, and I really don't, like you said, ride that hype train. I just focus on what I can do to get better and help my team get better. And I feel like it comes from that. And I feel like it comes from just a great foundation. Growing up, I always had parents that helped me understand that it's not always about me. Yeah. Things are bigger than me, so I do it for a bigger purpose. And I know it's just not about me, and I just want to go out there and help everybody else look good around me. And I understand if I do that, then and our team's winning football games, then the quarterback is going to get praised in those moments. So,
how do you define yourself as a leader?
I say more vocal than I was in the past. Usually I was more of a example guy. I'm gonna make a throw to the other side of the field from the opposite hash, and they latch on to that and say I can throw and stuff like that. But just I've been working on being a lot more vocal, trying to be that guy on the team that speaks up when things aren't right. If it's not looking the way that it should, having championship as our filter, then we just got to check that, and I feel like it's been a lot of guys on the team doing that as well. It's not just me, but, everybody working together and understanding that, we got a big goal that we're chasing, and we got to be all in together to make it.
Do you feel like you've had to change your approach at all or change your leadership approach given all the attention and all the hype and everyone – when things aren't going well or when things do go well, now they look at you directly in this program. It's how's Mike going to respond to this? Have you felt like you had to change anything or just be more aware of that?
No, I've always been this even kill type of guy. I'm always a guy that's, always going to stay level-headed, and I'm going to stay the same guy each and every day. And even that's a good thing in the quarterback position, because, a play goes wrong in the game or something like that. People look at me on the sideline, and I'm the same person as after we just scored and after we get done celebrating. I'm going to be the same guy, and I understand that's a big thing because, like you said, people are going to look at the quarterback, especially in, tough times or and in the best times, so I understand that I got to be that same person, and I can't get too high or get too low, in any situation.
Yeah. Tell me about your family. I know they're super important to you. I heard a hilarious story about your mom's flight getting canceled at the Alamo Bowl, and she had to drive across the country. Tell me that story. Tell me about your family.
Yeah, man, they're amazing. They've been with me since day one. Obviously they've been, very supportive and loving all throughout. And both my parents, they treat us great. They raised us great to be great young men. I got two little brothers back at home as well, and one of them just got to college this summer. So man, it's amazing. I'm just blessed to have them, and I feel like they definitely molded me into the person I am today. And they just helped me understand that life isn't going to be easy. It's going to be ups and downs, and you just got to continue to persevere and continue to keep fighting. That's where I got it from, my parents.
So tell me this Alamo Bowl story. I want to hear it firsthand of the driving across the country.
Oh yeah, so I guess Southwest Airlines, at that time they were
canceling everything.
They were canceling everything. It don't matter where you were coming from. So it was rough. My parents, and just the support they have, that just shows their support. They drove 11 hours to come to the game, and that just shows how much love they have for me, and they understood that was a big moment for me as well. I've been to bowl games before, but I've never been able to play in them, because of injuries and stuff like that. So, they were like, they can't miss this opportunity. Yeah. So they found a way, and, I'm just thankful for them.
By any means necessary, right?
Exactly.
They're making it happen. I'd imagine for you, the coolest part, or one of the coolest parts of this journey has been bringing your brothers along for the ride with you. Right. Has that been the most fun part for you?
Yeah, they're definitely my why, ones I do it for, those my little brothers, they mean the world to me. I do anything for them, and they know that, and I just feel like as a big brother, I just want to be that role model, that leader, for them to look up to and understand that, okay, this is what my brother's doing. I know he wouldn't show me wrong, and so we can follow his steps, to become successful and to persevere through those hard times, and always bouncing back and keeping a positive mindset. So I just try to be that for them each and every day, and they know they can call me for whatever. So
I want to ask you this. Let's go back to when you walked in to Indiana in 2018, about 4 years ago. How have you changed the most between the person that got to Indiana in 2018 versus the Michael Penix Jr. who sits here right now?
I'll just say my just understanding of the game, my knowledge of the game. I feel like it's definitely increased, and being in the offense this is going on my 5th year in this offense. It is obviously a positive as well. I feel like I ran every play against every coverage, so I kind of get an understanding of the field, and I feel like I feel the field a lot better than what I did, at that young age, and I feel like that's part of my key to success. Just my preparation and just understanding of the game. It just helps slow the game down, and for me to go out there and just play and have fun at a fast pace. So.
How big is that for a quarterback to play in the same system and be able to recognize everything? You probably know what Coach DeBoer's and what Coach Grubb and all them are going to call before the call even comes in sometimes, right? Like, how big is that familiarity for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I know exactly whenever they call, what they're going to call, but I definitely know whatever they call, I know the reason why they called it. If we got a motion or a shift on, I know why they called that. If it's a way we ran the play earlier in the week and he switched it up in the game, I get that understanding of what it is, and that just comes from Coach Grubb. drilling us in the meeting room. He's making sure that we 100% prepared, come game day. And, whenever I go out there, it's just having fun at that time and just executing at a high level, But Coach Grubb, he does a great job of giving us the tools that we need to make sure that when we go out on the field, we don't question anything. We understand everything that's thrown at us, and we understand the different checks that he give us based on the looks that we got. And, he just allowed me to have fun out there.
I want to dive more into kind of your whole journey of how you got here today. One of my favorite parts of your story is that it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies in your career. You had the ups and downs. You went through the adversity, and that's why people like rooting for you so much, I think, and what makes your success so special. During that time in Indiana, when you had the ACL injuries, when you were struggling to stay on the field, what was going through your mind during that time? Guys, here's the reality. It is summertime. Summertime means more fun, more ladies, more time on the beach. And what's crucial during that time? You have to look good, top to bottom, literally. The way I make sure I'm looking good and fresh and light every day in the summer is with Manscaped. The Performance Package 4.0 has me feeling my best. Last time I was at the pool about 2 weeks ago, I had the shirt off, my face was clean, I was groomed well below, and my confidence was at an all-time high, and it paid dividends for me. Here's why I love the Performance Package 4.0. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you could ever need to keep you looking your best. It comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and even a travel bag to hold all your tools. Trust me, guys, you don't want to miss out on this bundle. So guys, go to manscaped.com and use my code ADAMB for 20% off and free shipping to get what you need to be feeling good this summer. That's code ADAMB at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. And guys, supporting the sponsors of this podcast like Manscaped helps support me and allows me to do this podcast every week for all of you. So go to manscaped.com, use my code ADAMB for 20% off and free shipping. During that time in Indiana, when you had the ACL injuries, when you were struggling to stay on the field, what was going through your mind during that time?
Yeah, it was tough. Coming to college, never getting hurt, like not even a sprained ankle. It was tough. Coming there and having that torn ACL my first year, and I had a shoulder injury the second year, another torn ACL the third year, and another shoulder injury the fourth year. It was tough. It was a lot of battling back and forth in my head. It was a lot of negative thoughts coming in my head. I was trying to push those out, as much as I could. But I feel like the main thing that kept me focused and locked in is just the people around me and my family. Always supporting me, being there with me through all those hard times, and just allow me to understand that I'm playing for something bigger than myself. And and in my eyes, like I just said, my little brothers, those are my why, and people, the ones that I do it for mainly is and I couldn't let them see me quit, And so in those times, I did have those thoughts, about, if this happens again, I might be done, But at the end of the day, I knew I couldn't be that quitter. I knew that I wanted to set that example for my brothers that, things aren't always going to be easy, but you got to bounce back and persevere through it all and, continue to keep fighting and, better days are going to come.
Yeah, and the other part that's really cool about that story is so many people, athletes, even people that aren't athletes, can relate to that, right? Like being in a dark time and coming out on the other side. During that time, when you had all those injuries, when you were going through it, was there one moment that you remember being the toughest time or the toughest moment, maybe the toughest injury, and kind of how'd you overcome it?
I'd say my second ACL tear was probably the toughest. Not as far as like pain wise, because I've been through the process before, mentally. But it was just mentally, I'm just like, dang, that's two torn ACLs. And so the way they did it, they took my patellar tendon out of one knee the first time. The second time, they took it out the other knee. So I'm like, okay, they took my patellar tendons.
We got nothing left.
Next thing they're going to take is a hamstring tendon. And they say that's not strong enough. So it's like, in my head, it's just like, dang, I can't go through this again. So it was tough. 2021 season was real tough on me, for me to be locked in and, just give my all for my team. And I feel like I was just battling a lot, with those mindsets of me, thinking about stopping playing football because of my injuries and stuff like that. And it was always like, if I tear my ACL again, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So it was hard for me to enjoy football at that time. But, like I said, just having those people around me continue to support me and lift me up, they kept me going. So,
do you ever sit back in this offseason with your name in the Heisman conversation, all the hype, and think about where you were just a few years ago, having those thoughts?
Yeah, man, I always think about it, and that's why when you talk about the Heisman talks on social media and stuff like that, it's like Yeah, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, I know what I got to focus on, because 2 years ago, all these people, they weren't, they didn't believe in me. They didn't expect me to have the season that I had last year, and they didn't expect University of Washington to have that season. So, it just shows, people, you can't always fall into, social media, stuff like that, no matter positive or negative. You don't want to get too high or too low on things, because at the end of the day, those social media posts, they're going to be made regardless. It's people, they're going to tweet good things or bad things. It just depends on how you plan. Yeah. So, I just try to focus on what I can do for myself and my team, to help us win football games. And, that's how I keep my focus straight and my head straight.
If there's one lesson that you learned during those few years, what would it be?
I'll say just perseverance, and just times are going to get hard. I feel like I never faced adversity like that before, so it was real tough in those moments. I didn't know how to react at first, and torn ACL is crazy, because like when I got to college, that was like my first time hearing like, okay, torn ACLs is like a thing, because like in high school you don't think about injuries. Yeah. Like you don't think about anything like that. And in high school you'll get a sprained ankle or something like that. You don't really see too many torn ACLs and stuff like that. So it's like when I got that, it was like, dang, I'm out like for the season. So it was like something that was very different to me and hard at first, but like I said, just being able to overcome it and come out on top, I'm just blessed to be in the position I'm in. So
take me through your transfer journey and how you ended up. I know the relationship with Coach DeBoer and how important that was for you.
Yeah.
And kind of how it all came full circle for you right here.
Yeah, it's crazy. So how it started, coming out of high school, I was actually committed to University of Tennessee for like 2 years, and new coach staff came in. They had their guys that they wanted.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I got my offer taken away during that time, and Coach Sheridan, he was actually at University of Tennessee whenever I got the offer and whenever I was committed there, and he was helping out with the quarterbacks at that time, and somehow he got to Indiana, and I didn't know. Once he left Tennessee with that coaching staff, I was still committed to Tennessee, and it was like all Tennessee. And at that time, it wasn't really about the coaching staff. I just liked the culture at that time, and so whenever Coach Sheridan just kept hitting me up, he's like, I'm at Indiana now. I'm like, okay. Him and Coach Mike DeBoer was there, and those guys are at Tennessee, and those are the main reason I was ended up in Indiana, because Coach Sheridan, he was the guy that always stayed in contact. He was always texting me every day, and there was some days I'm like, hey, Coach, like, stop texting me, but he knows all love, and so I was able to get to Indiana from there, and then Coach DeBoer ended up coming in Indiana in 2019. And that's how I met him. And I just felt so comfortable in the offense and the offense that he brought to us. And, I feel like I had a pretty good year underneath him calling the plays. And, I wanted to be a part of that again. So whenever I hit the transfer portal, he was definitely one of the guys that I was looking for. And found out he was coming here to University of Washington. And I knew it was a big opportunity. And whenever they gave me that call, I took advantage of it. And I knew that this was something I wanted to do. And Coach DeBoer, he definitely had a big part in it. So it's crazy how full circle it came around.
You think Tennessee regrets pulling that offer now?
I don't know. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
When you got here in last season, what was kind of the moment where it all clicked for you, where you're like, oh, this was the right choice and it's going to work out, and you kind of got that swagger and that confidence back?
So I always say, like, when I first got here, I already knew what the offense was going to be like. I knew what to expect on that, as far as that standpoint. And so when I got here, I'm like, Coach, I don't care about the city. It got Space Needle. Like, it's nice. It's a beautiful city. But like at that time, it was like, I came here for business. I wanted to help University of Washington win football games. And so I was like, Coach, I want to see the guys that I'm going to be playing with. So that was like the first thing I did whenever I got here. It was like I watched the film with Coach. He had cut-ups of all the guys, and I'm like, yeah, at that time I was like, okay, yeah, we're special. And then I was like, yeah, I wanted to be here. So I made that commitment, and I got here. And like first day of me getting here, the receivers they hit me up like, hey, let's throw. Like they wanted to connect.
Room too.
Yeah, so right then and there, I knew I was like, yeah, we're gonna be special. You know, that first throwing session, you know, it wasn't perfect. Obviously, you know, just trying to get my rhythm down with those guys, but I could just see the potential that they had, and you know, meeting the offensive linemen, seeing how big them boys was, and you know how much work they put in the offseason. I say the offseason definitely showed me, you know, that we were going to be special. You know, I knew it deep down inside, you know, because of the offense that we run and, you know, the players that we had around us, I knew we were destined to be great.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of the country now. You're from Tampa, Florida, at Indiana.
Yeah.
What was the thing that surprised you the most when you got to Seattle? Guys, we have a new sponsor for the Next Up podcast, Caldera Lab, and I am fired up. Because of Caldera Lab, I'm able to put my best face forward. How do I do that? By adding a skincare routine from Caldera Lab into my day every single day. Now, I know what you're saying. There's no way this guy sticks to a skincare routine, but joke's on you because there's no way this face stays this clean and looks this good without it. And honestly, it's not that hard. I just needed the tools, and now I have them from Caldera Lab. Here's some insight on my personal routine. Number 1, the clean slate. It's a face wash that starts and ends every single day for me. Number 2, the base layer, a moisturizer that hydrates my skin. And number 3, the good, a bedtime night serum that has my skin feeling tighter and smoother than ever before. The skincare world is not just for females anymore, it's for men too, and it's doing wonders for me. So what are y'all waiting for? Go to calderalab.com/AdamB for 20% off their best products. That's a huge discount at calderalab.com/AdamB. And guys, supporting our sponsors like Caldera Lab supports me and allows me to do this podcast every single week for all of you. So please support Caldera Lab at calderalab.com/AdamB for 20% off. What was the thing that surprised you the most when you got to Seattle?
All the mountains. You really don't see that on the East Coast. At least in Florida, you know, we got hills.
It's different.
You can run up a hill, but man, you see mountains. We got a mountain view. You sit up in the coach's office, you can see the mountains out there, and it's crazy. You know, it's like the world is like this, and like it was different to me, and that was the main difference to me. I'll just say the whole mountains and stuff like that it was cool to see.
What's the one thing right now, again, had so much success, but when you watch the film, there's always room to get better, right? There's always things that you see on film. What are you working on right now that you're trying to improve on? Or when you saw last year's tape, you're like, I got to get better at this?
Yeah, I say completions. I feel like our completions, you know, we try to get above 70% completion percentage, you know, and last year I believe I was around 66, lower on the lower side, you know, so that's my main focus this off season, this camp, you know, just get completions, you know, being able to give my guys a chance with the ball in the air, you know, not making any foul balls, throwing out of bounds, stuff like that, you know, giving our guys a chance, and I got a great receiving room, and those guys get open a lot, so it's definitely not hard for me to get over that 70% range, and I believe right now around during camp, you know, I've been doing a great job with that, you know, making sure I'm getting a lot of completions, stacking those completions up day by day, and just taking care of the football, you know, that was the main things.
When you look back on your career so far, what's maybe the one thing that you're the most proud of when you look at it and you say, oh, maybe it's a game, maybe it's a completion, maybe it's something with your teammate? What's the thing you're like, I'm most proud of that moment?
Just my perseverance.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you know, it's been hard, you know, but, you know, I understand that it's a long journey, and I understand that, you know, God has a plan for me in my life, and I just got to go out there and just live up to it. And, you know, I just got to go out there and give my all, and, you know, continue to, you know, show that resilient mindset and that perseverance, you know, that I have day in, day out, you know, just show guys that, you know, I'm a guy that's going to continue to keep swinging no matter what, you know. I'll never quit on any team that I ever play for, and that's one of the things that my dad taught me at a young age. It was like, there'll be times, you know, you're young, it's hot in Florida, it's like, nah, I don't want to play. My dad never let us quit in anything we do, you know, and I feel like that mindset that he instilled in us is amazing, and I definitely take it with me each and every day.
I wanted to ask you about being a left-handed quarterback. It's an interesting topic for people inside the football space. There's been a lot of great left-handed quarterbacks. There's also a narrative that some OCs, some head coaches don't want left-handed quarterbacks because of the having to flip the system, which is kind of over-exaggerated, as you probably know. What's your message, or what are your thoughts on that whole kind of narrative, and especially at the next level too. There's talks about lefties versus righties. My quarterback in high school or in college was a left-handed quarterback who was elite, and but still he struggled at times to get opportunities in the NFL. What are your thoughts on being a lefty?
I'm blessed. I say I'm blessed. My grandma, the only one in my family other than me that's a lefty, and she's someone that I look up to and I love a lot, and she does a lot for me and my family as well, you know. So it's like, hey, I take on that role, and I'm excited. I'm glad I'm a lefty. You know, obviously at a young age, it wasn't like I chose which hand I wanted to throw it. You know, it just happened. You know, so I just control what I could control, and like I said. Hey, if they don't like lefties, then I would hate for them to miss out on the opportunity, you know. But, you know, I just try to do the best I can either way, you know. I always tell Coach Grubb as well, sometimes he's like, oh, we get you rolled to the left, you know. And I'm like, Coach, I can throw it anywhere. So it don't matter, just call anything. So I feel like I'm very versatile as far as being a lefty. I can make those throws rolling to the right-hand side. And if you got to flip the call, you really don't have to flip anything with me. I always tell Coach Grubb I'll make it work. So I just try to keep that mindset.
Makes you unique. You're good.
Yeah.
You don't need to flip anything. I love it. Who's the quarterback in the NFL you emulate the most, or you think your game is most similar to?
Yeah, as far as right now, I know growing up, when I was a young age, I was always a Michael Vick guy. You know, obviously lefty.
There you go.
Lefty quarterback, and he's a guy that ran. And back in the day, that's when I used to run a lot. But now I'm more of a pocket passer. But him, and then when I got to like high school and stuff like that, Teddy Bridgewater was a guy that I looked up to a lot. And I just feel like his poise, especially when he was at Louisville, like his poise in the pocket, the way he managed the game and stuff like that. And he was a guy that I looked at like just as me as well, because he's a guy that is going to throw the ball in the pocket, but he can't run, you know. So I wouldn't call Teddy a dual threat, but he can be, you know, and that's how I see my game. I don't call myself a dual threat. I see myself as a pro-style quarterback that can run. And so that he was a guy that I saw a lot of my game in, and, you know, I feel like the way he carries himself, how humble he was, and, you know, I feel like he was a guy that I looked up to it during high school. Right now, it's so many great quarterbacks out there. It's like, now just let me take some from Pat, let me take some from Jalen, you know, stuff like that, you know. So I can't really say now, but it's a lot of great guys out there.
Take me through your pregame routine. What are you doing? What do you do on game day?
Yeah, so I got my music on. I wake up. I got a shower and stuff like that. Get my body awake. I come in when we get to the stadium after our dog walk. We'll go.
What's the dog walk?
Okay, so we walk from above the stadium, from up top at the entrance of the stadium. You know, past the dog statue, and the fans are there. Our band is there, cheerleaders, and they all playing music and stuff like that. And you got the fans, you know, welcoming you to the stadium. You know, I feel like that's a very special moment, you know, for not just us but the fans as well. You know, and you know, I just get down there, start doing my arm care stuff. You know, trying to get my arm warmed up, get out on the field. Do my laps, say my prayers and stuff like that, and I'll be ready to go. You know, I get a little bit of treatment before, and just making sure that I'm as ready as I can be.
You're not a big hot tub guy pregame?
Nah, I don't do the tubs pregame.
Dehydrates you.
Yeah, I don't do the tubs pregame. I'm usually ready to go.
What? Take me through a day like today in training camp. Give the fans a behind-the-scenes look at, like, in the middle of camp, a day like today. What are you doing? What time are you waking up? Take me through your day. It's a long one. I don't think fans realize quite how long it actually is. Athletic Greens, and let me tell you, when I found out about this sponsor, I was fired up because I've been using Athletic Greens for years, and I want to promote to you guys the things I actually use. I love Athletic Greens. As a former Division I athlete, I've tried countless supplements, and recently my nutrition and my health has become a bigger deal for me as I get farther away from my playing career. And let me tell you, Athletic Greens is the real deal. Has me feeling healthy and energized every single day. With as much as I'm on the road, traveling, shooting podcasts, it's hard to have a healthy diet, hard to have healthy nutrition, hard for me to get my vitamins and minerals every single day. My doctor even told me that last time I saw him. But with Athletic Greens, I get 75 plus vitamins, minerals, and a bunch of other healthy things. I don't even know what they are, but I know they're good for you. And when I wake up every single day now, I feel energized, my digestion has never been better, and I'm ready to attack each and every day because of Athletic Greens and AG1. So if you want to take ownership of your health like I am right now, try AG1 today at drinkag1.com/nextup, and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs when you go to my link, tryag1.com/nextup. And guys, all of you who support this podcast, you guys supporting our sponsors helps me a ton. So please go support AG1 and support Next Up through the process and optimize your health and nutrition today. drinkag1.com/nextup. Check it out. Take me through your day. It's a long one. I don't think fans realize quite how long it actually is.
Yeah, so my first alarm go off at 5:30. I probably wake up on my second or third alarm around 5:45. I'm always up. I'm up out of my bed by 6 o'clock, brush my teeth, all that stuff is already done. I wake up, I do my morning devotion. I read my verses for the day and get my day started off in that way, because I feel like I always got to thank God, for waking me up, to start off my day. And then I leave the house and I come here. I get my treatment early in the morning, just making sure I'm staying on top of my body. It's not always getting treatment whenever you hurt, but it's like just making sure that your body is ready and doing those things. Like I said, my arm care routine. We do our activation in the morning. Obviously, I got to eat breakfast and stuff like that, but meetings start around early. I'll say 7:45 meetings start, and then got like hour meetings, start practice. Practice is about 2 hours, and leave practice. We got lunchtime we got like 3 hour window. We got lunch and you go rest, watch film and stuff like that. So me personally, I go eat my lunch and I go watch film while I'm doing treatment and stuff like that. And after that, I'll just chill until our next meeting's at around 3 o'clock, and then meetings for the rest of the day, and then we have we don't really get out until later in the day. So I get home around like.
Sometimes you got to squeeze a podcast in too, right? Like
yeah.
Let me ask you this: when you leave here, and people talk about Michael Penix Jr., what do you want them to say?
Like you said, just an authentic person and somebody that's going to persevere through any type of hardship. That's what I want them to say. What's the best advice you've ever received? Just be yourself, never try to be anybody else, because in the world we in today, it's a lot of people that, want to do things that other people are doing or seeing other people with this type of styles and try to, emulate that. But I just try to be myself and be the same person every day.
What do you think you'll be doing in 15 years after your NFL career is done?
Okay, I don't know. It's definitely something with the kids, probably back at home in my community, where I grew up, just continue to keep them on the right track.
Last thing I got for you. You mentioned a little bit about your brothers and them being a big thing for you, but I wanted to double down on what's your why? What's the reason that you wake up? You just said you wake up at 5:30 in the morning every day. What's the reason that you grind the way you do, that you push through all that adversity at Indiana and got through the other side? What's your why?
Yeah, my whole family, really. I say my brothers specifically, because I know that they look up to me, in everything that I do. And I know it's times that, I really don't, I didn't understand that at a young age that, they're looking at me doing these things. And as I'm growing older, I'm like, okay, dang, you doing exactly what I used to do when I was your age. So it's like, it's crazy to see. And my family, my parents, they sacrificed so much for me. And, growing up, I salute my brother and one of my cousins. She used to stay with me as well. I salute them because, growing up when I was in high school, I really wasn't in the system and I wasn't in a place where I needed to be that I felt was going to help me have a career that, I'm having today. So I had to move out of the city that I grew up in, which is Dade City, Florida. That's where I grew up. I had to move to Tampa, Florida. It was for the competition and the offense and stuff like that, for me to, pursue my dreams. I feel like that was the best decision for me and my family felt like that as well, you know. But at the same time, I got 2 little brothers at home, and I got a cousin that's staying with me as well, you know. And that decision was made because of me and my future. So it's like for them, it's like dang, they got to leave their friends as well as me leaving my friends. You know, they got to leave their friends, you know, because of me. So you know, I just salute them for, you know, always sticking there with me and always supporting me, you know, no matter what. You know, they made their new friends as well, you know. But I feel like my family in general, you know, they all always been there for me and always supported me at a high level.
I just thought of one more I wanted to ask you. Big Penix energy. What does that mean to you?
It just means what anybody else wanted to mean, because to me it was crazy. RG3, he had said it during one of our games, I believe, and
is that where it started?
That's where it blew up, and it was crazy to me. You know, they got shirts out there made and stuff like that. You won't find me wearing it, but hey man, it means I believe it just means, you know, just having that mentality, just going and do whatever it takes to win football games. You know, that's how I'll take it.
I love it. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm excited to watch you this season. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours for a while now, but what you've done is impressive. Your story is the most impressive part to me, and everything you've been through. I'm excited for fans to see this and hear more about your story and get to know you a little bit better, but I appreciate you taking the time during a busy day.
Right, for sure. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't too hard, right?
Nah, it was good.
Did I go over my time?
Nope.
That was 30 minutes?
108. Coach is at 115.
Oh, let's go.